Psychological Warfare Part 3. Psychological Warfare Tactics Part 3. Tactic number 1, the double bind. The concept here is offering two choices, both benefiting you. You could say, for example, would you rather tell the truth now and look strong, or lie and look weak later? Either way, the person is cornered. So you can apply this tactic in negotiations, interrogations, or parenting. Here you force action within a frame you've created. You reduce perceived autonomy while preserving the illusion of choice. Tactic number 2 is induced cognitive dissonance. The concept here is you force someone to act against their beliefs, then let them reconcile the conflict on their own. For example, you could get someone to publicly defend a position they don't truly believe. Then watch them slowly adopt it to reduce internal discomfort. Now, this tactic is used in propaganda, in cult recruitment, in corporate loyalty programs. The tactic number 3 psychological warfare is the foot in the door technique. The concept here is you start with a small request. Once accepted, escalate. Let me repeat that again. This tactic in psychological warfare is called the foot in the door technique. You start with a small request. Then once that request has been accepted, you escalate. During interrogations in war, captives were asked to sign mild statements. Then more extreme ones. Eventually, they complied with major demands. Now, why does this work? Commitment bias. Once we say yes, we want to remain consistent. That is the trick here. Another psychological warfare tactic is gaslighting in controlled chaos. Instead of denying reality directly, create micro chaos that erodes someone's sense of stability. For example, constantly rearrange schedules. Say you are overthinking every time they react. Occasionally validate, then withdraw. The goal here is emotional disorientation. Make the target more dependent on you for stability. The other tactic in psychological warfare is called the mirror trap. Mirror your target's emotions, body language, and opinions until they feel understood. Then flip the script. Total empathy and connection. That is the first phase. The second phase is strategic withdrawal or contradiction by destabilizing the connection and make them chase reapproval. This tactic is used by undercover agents, social engineers, skilled manipulators. The other tactic in psychological warfare is called the manufactured scarcity. The concept here is you make access to yourself, to your time, or your approvals, or make your approval scarce, especially after you've made yourself valuable. So you make access to yourself, your time, or your approval scarce. That's the tactic. The tactic here is about scarcity. And this tactic works especially if you've become valuable. Why does this work? Scarcity creates urgency. People chase what they feel is slipping away. For example, you could say, I'm only available for a few minutes. You could also say, this might be the last time we talk like this. The other tactic in psychological warfare is the identity collapse trap. You break down someone's self-identity, then offer them a new one you control. This tactic is used in radicalization, it is used in cults, in military indoctrination. The steps include: number one, isolating from past anchors. That is, you isolate the victim or the target from friends, from routines, from beliefs. Then you overwhelm them with confusion or failure. Then you offer new identity with rewards. You are one of us now. The other tactic used in psychological warfare is psychological time bombs. The concept here is about planting suggestions or phrases that will only go off later, during emotional moments or key decisions. For example, you could say, you always give up when things matter most. When they're about to quit, that phrase hits. Why does it work? Emotional memory recall during vulnerability. Now these tactics I've mentioned in this video, they are not tactics for the careless. Psychological warfare isn't about brute force. It's about precision, subtlety, and most importantly, understanding the mind better than the person you're targeting. So if you are learning these tactics to protect yourself, then good. If you are learning these psychological warfare tactics to manipulate, then you should understand the cost. Remember, choices have consequences. The deeper you go into psychological warfare, the more of your own humanity you might lose. So please, if you are getting into psychological warfare, let me summarize the tactics again. The tactic number one is the double bind. Double bind means offering two choices. Both choices are benefiting you. When you ask someone, would you rather tell the truth now and look strong, or lie now and look weak later? So either way, the person is cornered. The other tactic is induced cognitive dissonance. You force someone to act against their beliefs, then let them reconcile the conflict on their own. The other tactic is the foot in the door technique. You start with small requests. Once accepted, you escalate to a bigger or to more requests. This works because of commitment bias. When you say yes to something, you'll always want to remain consistent. The other tactic is gaslighting. And the other tactic is the mirror trap. You mirror your target's emotions, body language, and opinions until they feel understood, then flip the script. The other tactic is manufactured scarcity. You make access to yourself, your time, or your approval scarce, especially after you've made yourself valuable. Remember, scarcity creates urgency. People chase what they feel is slipping away. Tactic number 7 is the identity collapse trap. You break down someone's self-identity, then offer them a new one that you can control. The tactic number 8 is psychological time bombs. You plant suggestions or phrases that will only go off later, during emotional moments or key decisions. So, these are the tactics used in psychological warfare. They're not for the careless. Psychological warfare isn't about brute force. It's about precision, subtlety, and most importantly, understanding the mind better than the person you're targeting. If you're learning this, watching this video to learn to protect yourself, then good job. If you're learning this to manipulate, to bully others, then understand the cost. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so.